Tell me why takes a little trip to the Schifferdecker Park and the Joplin History and Mineral Museum with the guy who is in charge of so much that happens here, Chris. Chris, thanks for answering all these fantastic questions from kids all over the 4 states.
I'm happy to help.
Make all these children all over the area smarter just in the next half hour.
I sure hope so.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm the curator here at the museum. Coming up this next February, I'll have been here for 30 years.
Started as a tyke.
Started as a much less old guy.
Okay, yeah, that's how I call it.
And just fell into my dream career.
Really?
And,
why is that? What is it about geology and about minerals that really
for me,
touches you?
it's museums, and that's what my degree is in. And I actually came here to work part-time while I finished up my thesis, and they offered me a job, and I took it, and I thought I'll be here a year, and they kept meeting all my demands, so 30 years later I'm still here.
And so it's their fault.
It absolutely.
For meeting all of your demands.
Someone is to blame, and it's not me.
In 30 years, what's the most exciting thing that's ever happened to you here at this museum? Because this has been around forever. This is one of the places that you go to.
I believe this is our 98th, 97th year.
Is it really?
Yeah, so we're getting close to our 100th coming up.
That's going to be a big year.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I look forward to is we had a big celebration for the 90th, and that was kind of neat. And there's just not many institutions in the entire city that hit that 100-year mark. And there are a few, and I mean, they're just what you think of when you think of Joplin, like Joplin Supply,
sure,
St. John's. I mean, these things that in your mind, when you think of Joplin, you think of these other places too.
So how is this museum different now than it was 30 years ago when you started?
So much, and over time we've actually been able to do more and more as we go on. We actually were closed for the entire first month of this year. And we did a complete remodel on the history side, as well as doing new signage and stuff over on this side. Bringing in these wonderful pictures, trying to instill the human element in the geology that happened here, because without the people in the mines, this stuff would still be underground.
Right, and this entire part of the 4 states wouldn't be the way it is.
Wouldn't exist.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, you had Miami, Oklahoma, Webb City, I believe. That was it. So Joplin would not be here. We would just be South Webb City if it wasn't for the minerals that were found.
And he means that literally too. All right, you're ready to answer some really good questions?
I will do my best.
From some really smart kids.
If my person comes back.
Okay, your person will be back right after we hear what the question is from our first querulous person.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and I'm 9 years old. And my question is, how does concrete harden?
Sophia has the question that I think all of us who have ever put our fingers in wet concrete have wondered, and you did it too, I can see by the smile on your face.
Yeah.
How does concrete harden? Because you look at it and it's kind of like oatmeal, but then if you come back a little ways, it's not oatmeal anymore. How'd that happen?
This is the one that threw me for the loop most, because this actually isn't geology. This is more construction engineering and chemistry. But it's cool because the same process happens in nature, but with concrete, we accomplish this in days instead of hundreds of thousands of years. But you start, and it's all about having water. You wouldn't think that water would be the key, but making it wet is what makes concrete hard. Water reacts with the chemicals in the concrete like lime, and it forms these crystals that are called calcium silicate hydrate. And that starts to form little crystals in the concrete, and these crystals actually grab onto the sand, grab onto the gravel, and just holding together in a mass.
Coalescing. Yeah.
And because it's a chemical reaction, it's what we call exothermic. And that means it gives off heat. And that heat that it gives off, and if you ever touched concrete after it's been poured, it feels very, very warm. You can actually get burned by it. It can get hot enough, yeah. But the water reaction causes the heat, and that heat is what drives the water out of the concrete. So in the end, you're left with this solid mass.
How long is that process? I guess it depends how much you've got, right?
It depends upon how much, and also concrete, it may take 20 years to fully cure, but it will be usable in a matter of 4 or 7 days.
All right. Look at that. We know so much more about concrete now. Thank you, Sophia. Let's see what our next question is.
My name is Parker, I'm 10-year-old, and why are rocks hard?
I bet Parker was pretty much the Chris of his generation. Is that right? Were you asking those same questions
I
when you were
asked
10 years
many
old?
questions like this, yes.
Why are rocks so hard? They're hard. Why?
Well, it has to do with the process. So nature takes all these things and it puts them under incredible pressure and incredible heat and actually melts them.
It
And
melts them
melts
like an
them.
ice cream cone melts.
A
Similar.
good way to think about it is like sugar.
Right.
If you've ever made rock candy.
Uh-huh.
So you have this super saturated solution, and as it cools, these crystals form. And this crystalline structure is hard depending upon how extreme the heat and the pressure are when it's formed. And a good example of that is the element carbon.
Okay.
When it's formed under high heat, high pressure, you get a diamond, which is the hardest mineral that exists. Under a lower pressure, lower heat, you get graphite. And graphite's so soft that we take it and scratch it on paper
That's what a
and we write
pencil
our
is.
names with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about the heat and pressure that form it and what chemicals that are involved. Now, we rank things in geology by hardness, and it's called the Mohs scale, M-O-H-S.
Okay.
And basically, all it is a scale of this rock is scratched by this rock or gets scratched by this rock.
Okay.
So
and
you
at the
start-
top of that is the diamond.
Is the diamond.
Okay.
And then down at the bottom are things like talc, which you can scratch with your fingernail.
Yeah.
We use things like a penny to scratch them. Quartz is a 7 on the Mohs scale.
Is that like close to the middle? Is that
No,
high?
7 is on the high, middle to high
Because does it
end,
stop
yeah,
at
yeah.
10?
It
Is-
stops at 10.
Okay.
And the jump from 5 to 6 may only be that, but from 9 to 10, it's like that.
Wow. So what is 9, by the way?
9 would be corundum, sapphires, rubies, things like that.
Corundum. That's a
Corundum.
rock I've never heard before.
Well, that's
it's a
the
conundrum.
mineral name. So the gem name for that is sapphire and ruby.
Okay. So if you can't afford a diamond, go
You
to
can get
the
that, and
corundum
also you can get sandpaper that has corundum on it
to really make
because
things
and once
smooth.
again the Mohs scale, it's hard enough it scratches 9 and down.
Yeah.
So you can use it to sand anything
Never heard of the
except
Mohs scale.
diamonds.
Yeah, diamonds, they're like the kings or the queens of all rocks. If I was going to be a rock and I had to choose, let me ask you this question. If you're going to be a rock and you had to choose what rock you would be, would you go all the way to diamond
No,
or would you
no.
stay down in the talc area?
Because I'm a nerd.
No, you're not.
I would be sphalerite,
Sphalerite.
which is zinc ore, and it's about a 5.5 to 6.
So right in the middle.
But that's zinc ore. That's why Joplin exists.
Exactly. Zinc is a huge part of the history of this area. I hope we get a question about zinc because I bet your head's like full of zinc.
No, the kid,
I don't mean
the
that
kid-
in a bad way. I mean that in a very good way.
The kids knew that, and they didn't ask that.
Oh, okay. They already knew all that stuff, right? All right, let's have another question.
My name is Caroline. I'm 7 years old. Tell me how the Grand Canyons are made.
You know, sometimes you got big rocks, and then sometimes you have the space between big rocks. And that's what Kaylee was asking about. She wants to know about the Grand Canyon. Have you ever been to the Grand Canyon?
I have not.
I
I've not
haven't
been to the
either.
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon, the
Let's go.
handshake
Let's go.
of people who.
I got
all
an
right,
hour.
Let's go. Take the mics off. Let's get at. Well, let's finish these questions first, okay? Kaylee wants to know how the Grand Canyon was made.
Well, this is interesting to me because actually the way the Grand Canyon formed is identical to how the landscape in our area, in the 4 states, formed.
Okay.
It's just Grand Canyon had a much longer head start on what did happen. And it starts because both areas were covered with a shallow sea. And the
Now,
sea,
how long ago would this have been?
this would have been 400, 500 million years ago.
Okay, it's older than me. Not a lot, a little bit.
But so these seas are bringing in mud and sand and other minerals are getting concentrated in this water. But then you have some kind, and the most important thing is the animals living in the ocean. So when they die, the skeletons from the fish, the shells from the shellfish all fall to the bottom, and over time it
Were
builds
some
up.
of these like dinosaur fish?
Yes.
They're that
Yeah,
old.
That old, yeah. And limestone's what we look for in fossils, especially in our area. But it would form these layers and layers, and over time that turns into limestone, which is our bedrock here.
Now, what does that mean? What is bedrock?
The foundation rock, the lowest rock
Of
that
this whole
everything else
area.
is on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you get these tectonic movements, and that just means different plates in the earth moving, bumping, and it caused both these areas to lift up.
Because those plates come together, and something's either got to go up or something's got to go
And
down.
when
right?
it went up, the shallow seas went away. And then what was left were these concentrators areas where the water ran, and the way the land mass came up, it also concentrated these rivers together. So in the Grand Canyon, it would be the Colorado River. And that over time just started slowly cutting deeper and deeper and deeper into the bedrock. And some places, I believe it's a mile deep.
Just from this trickling?
Just from that.
Is it now?
And-
Was it a trickling, or was it a little bit more
No,
forceful?
it would have been a coursing river.
Coursing river.
Yeah, because it's actually scooping and abrading the rock away.
All right.
And one of the things too is most water that we have is acidic, and limestone is dissolved by acids, so that helps too. And then you also have these other little feeder streams, erosional things like wind, ice, flooding. Those eat away at the edges of the canyon and kind of make it wider and wider and wider. And like I said, we don't have a mile deep ditch here in the Forest States.
That's
But-
good, because I
but-
would probably have driven my car into it.
And well, that's what the potholes are for. So you need to avoid those.
It's Carterville.
But the important thing to remember about this is this is taking place over geological time.
Okay.
So this is millions and millions of years to accomplish.
Sure.
Not just something that happens in a weekend. I mean,
Yeah.
it took us a minute to talk about it,
Right.
but it was eons and eons for it to actually form.
Fascinating. And is the Grand Canyon, is that the deepest place on Earth? I don't know.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not the
How
deepest
about
place
the
in the
deepest
United
place?
States.
It is the deepest place?
No, deepest place in the United States is, I believe, still Death Valley.
Death Valley. Okay.
And it's just an elevation thing because of that uplift
Right.
that raised everything in that area up.
And if you're going to name something and you throw the word death in there, you know it's going to be a big deal.
It's going to be a tourist
It
attraction.
has to be a tourist.
Let's go to the death thing.
So we're going to hit the Grand Canyon first, then we're going to
And
go
then-
to
and then the
Death
death thing,
Valley,
yeah.
and then we'll go look at some of the potholes in Carterville.
Sounds like a straight line.
That's all we really need here. All right, so now we know so much more. I think we still have time for more questions. Let's hear one.
My name's Finley, and I'm 7 years old, and I want to know how volcanoes erupt.
You know, I don't know Finley, but if I had met her, I would have known that she would have wanted to know something about eruptions. And she wants to know how volcanoes erupt. How do volcanoes erupt?
Well, we talked just a minute ago about tectonics. And how
Tectonic plates.
plates moving
and-
together. So when they meet, that rock actually liquefies. And it's under pressure, and it's super hot.
And what you mean is a rock gets into so much pressure and heat that it turns into a liquid.
A liquid.
That's
And while it's underground, we call that liquid magma.
All right, magma.
But when it comes to the surface, we call it lava.
Magma is the first step to becoming a
Yes, and
full-grown
that's
lava.
contained underground. And the way I have explained it in the past is it's very much like having a soda bottle. When you just have your soda bottle right here, it contains the pressure well, the liquid is not going to go anywhere.
Because it's confined.
It's confined,
There's a
and the
lid.
bottle's designed to hold it in place.
Right.
And that's just like holding magma. It's kind of stable underground because it's being squeezed, but it's not going anywhere. But if you took that soda bottle and just threw it onto a gravel road,
Right.
then pick it up, it's going to be fizzing inside. There are going to be scratches on it. There are kind of weak points. The lid might be loose. So now this high pressure is looking for a way to get out. And the same thing happens
You're scaring
underground.
me a little bit here.
The same thing happens underground for magma. It's looking for a fault or a fracture or even an old volcano. And once it reaches to where that weak spot is, it erupts through, and that's where you get your volcanic eruption.
Is there any way to predict when that's going to happen?
They do, I mean, they can't predict it down to the minute or
Right.
day, but there are telltale signs, and usually it's seismic activity, earth shaking,
That's what's
causing the
so,
magma
yeah,
to squeeze.
explain real quickly what seismic activity would be,
Seismic just means that it is the shaking of the ground.
which does
It-
happen.
Yes, an earthquake is an example of an
Okay.
extreme seismic event. We can feel some earthquakes here from time to time. Luckily, we've not had a big one.
No.
But when you get all the way across the strait at Cape Girardeau, there's actually a major fault line there that's being held together by some kind of hook of land. And it did go, it failed in 1900, I believe,
Okay.
and it actually made the Mississippi flow backwards.
Oh, so and that is true. That's one of those stories I've heard all my life. I wasn't sure if it was an old wives' tale or an old
No,
geologist's tale.
it's
or-
true, and the ground shakes really hard, and because of the undermining in our area from the extent of the mines, if you look at a earthquake map, and it shows the damage if New Madrid Fault goes off.
And that is
That is the
the
one
one
at Cape
near
Girardeau.
Cape Girardeau, which is in southeast Missouri.
right
yes.
on the Mississippi River.
Right.
And if that goes, that would be a 10, and it goes all the way down. And I think right before us, the section is a 5. It just drops as it gets further away. Well, ours goes up one.
So this is something that I've heard all my life. I'm pretty old. I've heard about this all my life. The New Madrid Fault. It's gonna blow someday. It's maybe.
It's under pressure, and it could, yeah.
It's
And
under
that-
pressure, and it
hopefully
could.
that would be where we'd have telltale seismic activity telling us, oh, there's some
Ahead
shaking
of
there.
time.
Yes, way ahead of time.
So what can you do if your seismograph, am I saying that right?
Yep.
If it sort of starts wiggling, they do wiggle, correct? Wiggling Seismograph, which
Wiggle
was a
up-
great band from
up
the
and down.
80s, if you want to look that up. That's Priscilla Mason's favorite band from the 80s. She's our producer. Anyway, wiggling seismograph, if it wiggles, you're going to see that. What do you do to prepare for potentially a Category 10 earthquake?
Well, we wouldn't have a Category 10.
Good.
So it would come down, it would not be as bad. So that if my seismograph was wiggling, the first thing I'd do would be call someone that I'm supposed to report to.
Like Priscilla Mace.
Exactly.
I'd call her.
And then I would go outside.
Go outside because it's safer outside.
It is safer outside, and then just enjoy the free tilt-a-whirl ride.
Oh, wow. Because there's nothing else you can do
There's
about
really
it, right?
nothing else you can do.
All right. I'm looking forward to that day, as is Priscilla Mace. And I believe she's about to
Is she
line
going to
up.
drive us to Death Valley?
Yeah, she is. So, and she does accept tips. And
Oh, okay.
just so you know. All right, so Priscilla Mace, I'm not sure I'm going to be part of this when we come back from the next question, because she may yank me out of here, but I think we can throw another question in here. Oh, Priscilla.
Hi, my name is Royce. I'm 9 years old, and my question is, how old is the Earth?
Southeast Kansas, Royce wants to know how old the Earth is. I always like questions like this because it proves that I'm not the oldest thing on the Earth, because I was born sometimes after the Earth was formed. And this is, there are a lot of opinions about how old the Earth is, but what would a geologist say to that question?
Well, we are taught that the Earth is 4.53 billion years old.
That's a lot of billions.
And we know this from studying meteorites that were forming the same time the Earth was.
Okay, now here's a question. How do you know that the meteorites were forming at the same time
Because
the Earth
of what
was?
we study on them.
Oh.
We are looking for radioactive material.
Okay.
And we study how that decays. And it gets into something called half-lives. But over 100 years, half of the elements decays, and the next 100 years, another half is. And you keep reducing by half, but you never get rid of.
Right.
So that's one of the things we use to judge the age. And one of the things that I've always been fascinated by is you can use your own body to kind of figure out the age of the Earth.
You've got a pretty good wingspan
I
there
got a
too,
really.
Chris. I can't do that, but I wish I could.
So if you start over here, this is where the Earth forms.
Okay.
And so it's just a
So how,
molten
and that was say that again?
0.53
0.53
billion years ago.
That was before my grandmother
And this
was
would have
born.
been, we talked about lava and magma, this would have
Right.
been nothing but that.
just
Congealing together. And that lasts all through here.
all the way
and
up to
then-
your almost your
Yeah.
chest.
And then about here we start getting water forming
Okay.
on the Earth. And once you get over to this side, right here,
Where your armpit is.
right where my armpit is, it's a little stinky because this is where life starts.
Okay.
But it's bacteria, it's single-celled organisms, and that goes on all the way till about here.
To the inside of
my
your elbow.
elbow.
Okay.
And this is called the Cambrian explosion.
That was a big explosion.
And this is where multicellular life just takes off.
Explain what multicellular life would
Animals
be.
like we would recognize as being animals.
Like a
instead of-
trilobite.
Exactly. This
Like
is
that.
actually the age of the trilobites.
Okay.
Ammonites.
Look it up.
Brachiopods, which are shellfish, and they're a very common fossil in our area.
Uh-huh.
They kind of look like a pair of lips when you look at the side of them.
Okay.
But they exist all through here. And then right here at my wrist, this is the Cambrian extinction.
Okay.
And
That's when all the
things like
Cambrians went away.
trilobites, ammonites are almost totally wiped out.
Why?
Changes in temperature of the
Climate?
water, of the water.
Of the water.
Yes.
Okay.
And this starts the Permian era.
All right.
And this is where we start getting things crawl out of the water. But we also have things in the water like the sea dinosaurs. We have
Brachiosaurus.
armored fish
Okay.
that have these exoskeletons, like Dunkel's fish, I think is one of them.
Dunkel's fish.
And they go all the way up to here.
Through your
and
palm.
then
You got to your
right
fingers
there,
now.
There is the Permian extinction.
Okay. And all of those guys before.
80% of the life on Earth goes extinct in the Permian extinction.
Do we know why?
We don't know why. They think that it's from changing atmosphere.
Okay.
Right here to right there, that is the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous period.
Now we know Jurassic because of all the movies.
Right here, we have dinosaurs beginning to rule the world,
Okay.
and then they go extinct.
They go extinct right
Right
here
here.
at your tiny,
Yeah.
your smallest knuckle.
And then that's replaced by the Cenozoic era.
Okay.
And this is the age of mammals.
And that's when the first, is it pre-caveman?
Oh, way pre-caveman.
Way pre-
Because all the way, if you were to take just the layer of skin
Uh-huh.
off the end of my finger,
I won't.
that's how long humans have been in this timeline.
So all of this time, here are where humans are, right
And it's-
there.
yeah.
And everything led up to humans. It started all the way back
All the way over here.
4.5 billion
Billion
years ago. That was a long time. So many great answers. You know your stuff. It's good
I
that you're
try.
here curating around. You're going to stick around for the next 30 years, right?
At least 29.
29 or so. Thank you so much. This has been
Thank
a
you very
blast. Who doesn't love dinosaurs? We haven't even got to throw some dinosaurs in.
I know. Hopefully we'll have made some kid happy with it.
I'm sure you did. We made a number of them happy. Me too.
We'll
I'm a
made
kid.
a
We're
bunch
all
of people
kids.
unhappy, but
That happens too. That's the way life goes. So this is Tell Me Why. Ask your teachers about it. Ask your school board and everything. Maybe we can come to your school and you can get all of your scientific or sports or weather or whatever questions you have answered. We love doing it. I'm Gary Bandy, your host. See you next time.